Hello everyone, I'm Sharpedo43 once again, bringing you all round 2 between me and Yurin. This is going to be the second battle. I got this battle because Yurin wanted a rematch because I beat him the last battle, so I was like, okay, I'll give him another one. I wanted to still use this team to see if it actually still does well, or if it was just a one-time thing or something. So I decided to use this team again to see how well it does against him in the rematch, and he actually decides to switch up his team to something else, which is kind of scary because now he has an Infernape, which actually does cover a lot of my team. And holy cranberries, I do apologize if you hear some loud ass winds, but unfortunately it's windy today. So, and I'm not in my room because I'm actually in a trailer here because it's actually a lot more desolate and I don't have to hear anyone's voices while I'm freaking narrating stuff, because that's actually really annoying. It's more annoying than actual natural noise, you know. But anyways, the reason why Infernape is scary against this team that I have right now is because it one-shots Sharpedo, it one-shots Weavile, it one-shots Mega Gardevoir because it outspeeds it with Flare Blitz, and it one-shots freaking Ferrothorn. So it literally hits everything on my team really, really hard. If this thing sets up or something, or if it's Scarfed, it just gets away with a lot. If he forces me to switch on, predicts me correctly, he can get away with a lot just with Infernape alone. So this thing can actually be a real problem. So I'm just gonna hope that I actually don't fall victim to that dang Infernape. So here we go, round 2 between me and Yurin. I'm actually glad that I actually am doing this many battles with this guy in X and Y, just because I love listening to this music in the game. Like if this kind of music was in the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon games, I would have not mind not going back to Generation 6, but because that's not the case, going back to Generation 6 feels so damn good. Anyways, I'm digressing once again. He led with Infernape. Well, it's actually Zorag disguised as Infernape. I led with Garchomp trying to get rocks up. He flinched me with Dark Pulse, so that's why I'm forced to switch into Weavile, hoping he doesn't predict me to go into Weavile. Because if he does, then he will definitely take it out with a Flamethrower or Focus Blast. But thankfully he didn't do that, and I just go for a Flow Kick. I didn't expect this to KO in all honesty, just because I thought Zorag was just as light as Weavile, but apparently not, because I actually am able to take this thing out with one low kick. This prevents my Weavile from just going down to the Zorag in retaliation. So now I'm able to just switch out Weavile here on this Gastrodon, switch in and go into Gardevoir. Now the reason why I sent out Gardevoir against this Gastrodon is because this Gardevoir has Trace ability, and check this out. It Storm Drains, it traces Storm Drain, and this thing goes for Scald, and now my Gardevoir gets Storm Drain, which is really nice. I don't think I've ever pulled this off with any Gardevoir in all honesty, so I like that I'm actually finally being able to take advantage of Gardevoir's ability here. So anyways, here I stay as regular Gardevoir and go for Psyshock. I think the reason why I did this was because I was kind of anticipating it to switch into the Electros because of the Assault Vest that it carries, and I think even at +1 it can take Hyper Voices from regular Gardevoir or Mega Gardevoir, so I decided to not Mega Evolve. I don't know. I think in retrospect I should have just Mega Evolve instantly, just gone for Hyper Voice, because nothing switches into Hyper Voice at +1. So, but you know, I did what I did. I still take out the Gastrodon, and now he's gonna go into Electros. And here I decided to go for Psyshock because, like I said, I was convinced that this thing was Assault Vested, so I decided to just go for Psyshock and attack the physical defense. But here he survives, and he's gonna retaliate with a Flash Cannon, which was not what I was expecting. And because he got a crit, I only lived with 5 HP, which is scary as all sin. Thankfully I survived, so that way I can just take this thing out with another Hyper Voice. I switched it up to Hyper Voice this time because I was afraid of him going into Flygon, being possibly Choice Scarf, surviving a Psyshock, and then retaliating with an Earthquake and taking out my Gardevoir, which is not what I wanted. So here, I'm going to go into Ferrothorn. He's going to go for a U-turn. And I think here, he goes into Infernape. Now here, because he gets the switch initiative, I was thinking, okay, what I want to do right now, because I do not have a lot of switch-ins to Infernape, is go for Leech Seed. If he stays, then he goes for Flare Blitz, then I just lose Ferrothorn. But it'll at least take recoil damage, and he'll also take, what's it called? It will also take Iron Bars damage. But interestingly enough, this Infernape is not even Choice Scarf, it's actually a Swords Dancing set, which could be relieving, but at the same time not really, because Sharpedo and Weavile are the only things I have to answer this Infernape, and I still don't know if it carries Mach Punch or not, so yeah. What I'm going to do right here now, after taking this Leech Seed, because he did not attack my Ferrothorn and instead went for Swords Dance, what I'm going to do right here, right now, is sending Garchomp so that this thing can take some some recoil, some, what's it called, Rough Skin and Rocky Helmet damage. And yeah, and possibly maybe even take a hit from this Infernape if he chooses not to go for close combat. He goes for Flare Blitz, which, check this out. This thing is going to take freaking rough skin damage, it's gonna take Rocky Helmet damage, it's gonna take recoil damage, it's gonna take life orb damage, and check this out, it's also gonna take leech seed damage as well. I was like, wow, this was like all the damage I needed for this Infernape, because now Weavile can take it out with a Ice Shard if he wanted to, but he actually stays in with Infernape and just loses Infernape to a Rocky Helmet basically. Because he decided to take out my Garchomp with a Mach Punch, it just goes down. So I just switched in this Garchomp just for it to take out the Infernape. Like this Garchomp literally did nothing to this Infernape and it just went down. That's how broken Garchomp is, damn it. But anyways, that was pretty cool though. Double down, I decided to send in Ferrothorn. He goes into Flygon, goes for a U-turn. And I'm just gonna go for Leech Seed so I can get some HP back. I know his other Pokemon is Gengar, so I know these things can get Focus Blast, so I want to keep my Ferrothorn as relatively healthy as possible so I can take at least one Focus Blast and then at least hit it with one Gyro Ball. I still have Weavile in the bank, so if he does take out my Ferrothorn with Flygon, I can still go into Weavile and just Ice Shard it, so yeah. But I want to see how much does Gyro Ball do to Gengar. If it's Scarf, it could possibly take it out, but if it's something else, it might not, so... Here he goes for Shadow Ball, so he turns out to not even have Focus Blast, which is actually all the more better for my Ferrothorn, because now Ferrothorn has absolutely nothing to worry about, and it can go for a Gyro Ball twice if this thing happens to survive it. But he doesn't even survive it because this thing was Life Orb as well, and it took a round of Life Orb damage after Leech Seed, so that put it in range for a Gyro Ball to take it out, it seems. So here, now he's going to send out his last Pokemon, which is Flygon. It's going to Earthquake me. And I'm just gonna go for Gyro Balls. I think with Flygon, it actually takes 2 Gyro Balls to take it out. I don't know if it's Choice Scarf. It could be. It looks like it could be Choice Scarf though. But at the same time, I don't know. Either way, so it does survive the first Gyro Ball. But looking at this, unless he crits me with this Earthquake right now, he's not gonna be able to take out my Ferrothorn, and that's exactly what happens. And now I'm just able to finish off this Flygon with a Gyro Ball, and that's gonna be the whole game. So once again, good game to Yurin. Thank you for the battles, my dude. I actually had fun doing these Generation 6 battles just because I haven't done them in quite a while now. And I really wanted to get into some. I was actually, like, for months I've been hoping, will somebody actually look for a Generation 6 battle? And what do you know, I finally got one. The battles could have been better, but again, any Gen 6 battle that I can get, I'm going to take advantage of showcasing it if I like it, or if I find something interesting. And in this battle, I definitely found something interesting. Look what I did with Mega Gardevoir. It actually put in quite an amount of work. And then Garchomp switching in on that Infernape and just doing a lot of damage, even just taking it out just by switching in. Like, typically you don't want to, you're at a disadvantage if you switch in a Pokemon to take damage, but in this case, that was not the case whatsoever. I actually got a nice trade-off from Garchomp with Infernape, so... yeah, that was actually a pretty interesting game. So, once again, good games to Yurin once again. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you guys for the next battle. I think, yeah, we're going to go back to Gen 7 battles, obviously, but for now, just take it easy.